I guess I'm live. I do not know. It's really sunny out here. Can't see my screen. Can't see my screen. It looks like I'm live though. I see movement on the video. I can see the Jeep. I'm just gonna sit here for a minute, listen to these birds. So, one of the yard sale finds today was this burn barrel. We've been eating one really bad. The one we had, well, the two that we had were falling apart, and every time you burned in them, they'd like spit fire out on the ground, which is dangerous. I've already had one burn barrel fire a couple years ago. I was burning a bunch of trash and garbage that came out of a older house and had some nylon curtains and stuck it in the burn barrel and walked over to get the hose around the other side of the house, and when I got back, the nylon curtains had melted and dripped on the ground and started a bunch of stuff on fire, pine straw particularly, right over there in that little wooded area. So I spent the next 30 minutes trying to put it out and trying to save the car. And if you give me just a minute, I'll show you the car I was trying to save. I don't know if I can get over here. There's a lot of junk around. But there we go. Trying to save the car. That would be the car. It's a 49 Plymouth. It works. It runs. It's being worked on. I mean, it's got a couple of parts it needs. It needs some new brakes, and but he just put new points in it and got it running. So someday we'll get to take it to the drive-in movies. If there are any drive-in movie places still open by the time he gets it on the road. You know how that goes. So anyway, I'm wandering around the yard, looking at the tall pines and the blue skies and all the junk in the yard that needs to be cleaned up. Angry Snowball next to me. That's the name of the Jeep. Anyway, so we got burn barrel and this cart I'm happy about. Now, these things usually have like walls on them. I don't care. I will put a plastic crate on this thing and strap it on with some zip ties or something. But I'm very happy about this cart. There have been a couple summers in a row now where I have not had a cart to pull things around the yard to do gardening work, to get rid of junk and haul it from place to place, or just move stuff that needs to be moved. And so I am super happy about the cart. I know it's an old, ugly, kind of rusty cart, but it's got wheels and they work. And you can hear him on the other side of the yard here. He's mowing the lawn with the brand new Cub Cadet. Well, it's brand new to us, okay? Not brand new. But he went to a yard sale this morning that his stepdad told him about. The guy was an old truck driver and had a bunch of tools he was getting rid of. And he went down there to go see what he had. And we've been looking for a lawnmower, like a riding mower, and a tiller for a while now. And he got a tiller last week, used, and got a new motor for it, put it on, got it running, got our garden tilled most of the way. He's waiting right now. The guy that has the Troy-Bilt dealership here, because the tillers are Troy-Bilt. Troy-Bilt got taken over by NTD. I think that's what it was. Anyway, the guy that's got the Troy-Bilt dealership says he's got some furrow attachments for it. So he's going to buy a furrowing attachment for it on Monday. Because the guy's got them like in a storage unit, and he hasn't seen them in years in his shop because nobody's been using them. But this is a pretty good tiller, and that extra equipment will make it a lot easier to do the garden. We should have had the garden in a couple weeks ago. So we're going to have a little bit of a late garden, but we always seem to have a late garden for some reason. So that's all right. You can hear him out there in the 6 acres, mowing and mowing and mowing. Can you hear him? I can hear him. You can also hear the pretty birds. And I can smell the gas can. I do not want to light my cigarette anywhere near that gas can. Because I can smell it. If I can smell it, the fumes are too much. Let's see the tiller. Let's see if I can walk around here without tripping over some garbage on the ground. He's been working on the Jeep right here, and he's got a bunch of pieces, parts that he hasn't put up yet. He was just working on it a couple days ago. But, here is the tiller. Troy-Bilt tiller. Works really good. It's got forward and reverse. And it chews up some garden ground, he said. I haven't used it. I don't think I'm going to. It seems like a little bit too much of a beast for me. And he likes doing that stuff, so I'm going to leave it for him. That's my car. It's been parked for a few years. I can't drive right now. Well, I don't know if I'll ever be able to drive it again, actually, but I got visual issues where I can't drive, can't have a driver's license. And, but I haven't gotten rid of my car because I worked really hard to get that car. I was kind of in a bad bind and hadn't had a car in a few years, and I worked my butt off a couple years back for a friend of mine who had an antique store, doing all his advertisement and posting and taking pictures of all the items in the store to post up on eBay and Craigslist and Marketplace, and building his website and building his online presence and all that. I just do that for people. Anyway, I did it for several months. I'm starting to get sniffly nose from the cut grass. But I did that for a few months until I saved some money and put some money up and got my insurance and bought my car. After 4th of July, he also sells fireworks. Guy that owns an antique store. And he and I have been friends for 20 plus years. And so I went and I had him just save my money up until 4th of July, where he would make his big chunk of money for the year. And after that, I went and got my car. And I drove it for a while, but I took it off the road because I was starting to have vision issues. And I just decided, well, it's probably better that I'm not driving. And basically that was the deal with that. But I haven't gotten rid of it because I'm hoping at some point in time in the future I'm able to heal my vision issues. I'm working on it. You can hear him way over. I was hoping he was coming back around with this thing because it's a badass little lawn tractor, but I don't want to walk all the way up to the other side of the property to show it to you. Right now you're kind of looking at it on the horse pasture. There's only one donkey in there. We don't have any horses. We had some mini ponies, but they've all since passed and or been sold. We originally had like 5 of them or so, and we sold 3 of them, and 2 of them were older, and we didn't sell them off, and they passed. But anyway, that's about that. His stepdad just got a new camper. I think that's his old one sitting there. He's about to get rid of that or something. I don't know what he's going to do to it. But, yeah. You can hear him mowing up there. I was hoping he was coming back. I wanted to show you the tractor. Birds are chirping nice, though, and it's pretty out here. Tall pines. In South Carolina. Kind of sunny. Sunny South Carolina. Nope, maybe he's coming back now. Kind of sounds like he might be. Ooh. He ran over something, didn't he? He ran over something. I just crouched down here. I know. Boring video. There's nothing going on. And I don't know where the Lizzie dog went. Izzy, Izzy, Izzy! Lizzie, Lizzie, Lizzie! Come on, lizard. Lizard! Come on, baby. I don't know where she is. She's somewhere out here. She was out here earlier. I hear him coming. Now, this is where he's been working. He needs to get himself a garage. He's got all sorts of tools and equipment and stuff that just kind of lingers in this area of the yard. Kind of makes me nuts because I'll walk through here at night and trip and break my neck because I said I don't have very good vision, really bad night vision. But I think he might be coming back. I've been trying to talk him into buying a carport kind of thing so that he can work on vehicles out here and have a workshop to do his projects in, and get the carport and put some walls on it, turn it into a building that he can lock up, keep all his equipment and tools and stuff in. I know he's way out there mowing. Way out in the middle of a 6-acre farm. Not really a farm, I guess. A homestead, I suppose. Well, I think he might be coming this way. Or he's just passing by and I can hear it. I can't see that far out, so... No, he's still down there mowing. He's got a greenhouse that he wants to put together. That's over in that area where he's at right now. Stacked up parts. He's got to put that thing together. And it was an old Florida room off a house that he worked on over on the resort islands. He did some construction work over there, and I'm gonna have a seat here. Just sit here and look at the pretty woods and listen to the birds. But anyway, he got this Florida room, and he took it down, and the people said, "Take it away." So he took it away, and he's gonna turn it into a greenhouse. We'll have a greenhouse eventually, but we haven't quite picked the spot for it yet. He's got an idea where he wants it, but he hasn't quite gotten that area cleared out completely. And it's over back where my chicken coops are. I don't have any chickens this year. I decided it was a little too much work for me to do with my vision the way it is. Chickens are, they're not terribly hard work, but I like hatching my own, and I had an incubator, and I was hatching chicks, and I was raising babies for eggs, and I wasn't really into the whole meat chicken thing, and once I start feeding stuff, it becomes my pet. I was raised in a small town in upstate New York, but I was not raised on a farm where people had to eat their pets. basically. And I had a real bad problem with the whole story of Charlotte's Web. That really bothered me. And so I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan or anything, but I really don't like, I don't mind fishing, but I really don't like feeding something, taking care of it, and then having to eat it afterwards. That just kind of irritates me. So if we have any livestock like that out here, I let somebody else handle it, take care of it, spend time with it, do what they have to do with it, and I kind of stay away from it. And it's my way of managing not to feel attached to it, because I get attached to critters pretty damn easy. So I just, now I'd love to have some milking goats or a milk cow. That would be awesome. And I've thought about that. And I know how to milk a goat, milk a cow. I mean, I grew up in a farm town in upstate New York. And I was in 4-H, and, it's just, my parents never let me have those large critters. We had a huge garden, and I had rabbits that I showed in 4-H. That was my critter that I had. I had a couple of rabbits that I showed. And that was fun. It was an experience as a kid. I enjoyed it. I had other friends who had rabbits, and we bred them and sold babies and, tried to figure out what they were going to come out like between her rabbits and mine, and did some projects on that when I was a child. And that was a lot of fun. It was a nice town in upstate New York. A town called Cobleskill, if anybody on here happens to be from upstate New York. It's mostly dairy farms and cornfields, except now it's got a Walmart and a Walmart distribution center, which kind of ruined the entire town. Last time I was up there, the main street where my grandparents and my parents had their businesses when my father was growing up and when I was growing up. They had stores. My grandparents had an upholstery shop, and my mom and my dad had a counted cross-stitch supply studio / gift shop with engravable jewelry and Cabbage Patch dolls and Rust teddy bears and cards and, gift shop stuff. Anyway, I grew up in a family business. We traveled a lot up and down the East Coast and went to festivals, and we traveled with one of the fair circuits for a while and did engravable jewelry out at the fairs, and I saw a lot of the East Coast as a child, up and down every summer. And we had a shop in Myrtle Beach for a while in the summers, a couple years when I was a kid. A couple years my grandparents ran it, a couple years we ran it, until Hurricane David came along and ran us off. And we got out of there. But upstate New York's a beautiful place, but there's nothing going on up there. And when Walmart came in, it took out all the businesses that were there for decades and sometimes even 100 years plus. Our hardware store, our clothing store, our bookshop, our hair salons, our everything pretty much disappeared. The only thing on Main Street that I know of that's left is a pizza joint and a couple of bars, which really is sad. I mean, these people's families have been in business for a long time, several of them for several generations, and all that's gone. All because they wanted to build a distribution center up there, and they wanted to build it in the town, and I guess the town said, well, if you build a distribution center, you got to build a store or something, or I don't know. Somehow or another, they finagled a store and a full entire shopping center, which has like a Dollar Tree and a clothing store and a bunch of other stuff in the shopping center, like every Walmart down south here has. And it just totaled the whole town. I mean, everybody, small business wise, is gone. And then you got, like in the winter, there's No construction work, nothing outdoors to do except for like plow, basically. And so people spend their time doing a lot of drugs and drinking up there in the winter. And it hangs out and over until the summer. And I don't know, people I grew up with up there, God love them, but some of them really have not fared very well in that atmosphere. Let's put it that way. I'm glad I got out when I was 16, going on 17. I'm glad I left there. But I got friends who stay there. My best friend, he, about 2 years ago, passed away. He was only like 43. And, you know, he was basically an alcoholic and diabetic, and he worked his ass off and never learned to drive, so he walked everywhere. And it just wore him out. And he just turned that tractor off. So I guess he's not coming around here to show it to me anytime soon. But, you know, people that I cared about up there, they have not done well with their lives. People I was in bands with when I played music up there. People that I went to school with. Most of them are not doing too hot unless they left like I did. And the ones that left, they're doing a heck of a lot better than most of the ones up there. Now, there are a few people up there who fared okay. But just not what I would consider successful, or anybody else would. I mean, they probably inherited something off their parents, and they're living off of that, and that's about the extent of it, you know. But it was a great place to go to school, and there was an art council there, and you could take classes. I took classes when I was a kid. I took the adult art council classes. They were really nice to me because I was a respectful kid, and I was in the gifted program, and it was one of my options. I could go do arts council classes as part of my gifted program course. So I took photography, and I took screen printing, and I took block printing, and I took weaving, and I took all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's probably more than that. Can't even remember. But I did arts council classes or courses or whatever, like a lot. That was my Saturday afternoon recreational thing, my summer thing too. And it was a nice place to live, a nice place, safe place to grow up. Until you became a teenager and the drugs and the alcohol came in. And then it wasn't so safe anymore. There was a college in the town, and that's really probably partially what caused the alcohol and drug issue with the teenagers there, because I was able to go up to the college. I could walk up there from my house, and they had a pool hall, and I had a college ID because my dad was going to school, taking some courses there. And I could go play pool. I remember they had a free Joan Jett concert, and because I had an ID, I was able to get in there and watch Joan Jett. And that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. But you know, I was 15 years old running around the college with 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and everybody was partying, and it probably was not the right atmosphere for me. I honestly don't even know how I got away with it, to be truthful. My mother worked late hours. She was a hairdresser, and she worked late hours at the salon that was up in the big hotel in town. And so a lot of times I was just would say, hey, I'm spending the night with some friends, and she was like, okay, at least you're not home alone, you know. their hair salon would close down like 8:30, 9 o'clock, but she would have to do cleanup and everything. Sometimes she'd go out for a drink with her friends or something, or hang out for a little while. She wouldn't be home till 10 or 11. And so I was kind of on my own from morning when I left for school until, this was after my parents got divorced. The morning when I left for school until, 9 to 10 o'clock at night. I probably got away with a little bit too much stuff at 14, 15, 16 years old. I would say I probably did. I know I did. But I wasn't entirely a bad kid. I wasn't a thief. I didn't never get into any heavy drugs or anything like that. But I did party and drink and hang out with people and run around town and, kind of probably put myself in a few positions I shouldn't have been in. Ones I would not want a kid to be in today, let's put it that way. But that's a whole nother life story, because it feels like a whole different life. But I moved down South Carolina when I was 17 and moved in with my grandparents, who basically treated me like an adult, because I was almost. And they left me with their apartment while they went to Florida, and I had their apartment, and I didn't cause any problems with it. I didn't throw parties. I didn't have any bad things go on. I went to work. I did my job. I bought my own food and paid the electric bill there, and kind of kept to myself, and had a couple close friends, and, eventually I started my own business, and it wasn't too long after I was there that I started my own business, about at age 18 and a half or so. Started cleaning houses, cleaning apartments in the complex and the next complex over, and then eventually got transportation and started cleaning them on the islands, the Kiowa, Seabrook, and Isle of Palms, down in the Charleston area, downtown Charleston, James and John's Island, and met my first husband, wound up moving in together, and I was still doing my business. He was an electrician's helper at the time, became an electrician while we were together, and, but he turned out not to be the greatest person in the world. He cheated on me, drank a lot, spent a lot of money at strip clubs, and was kind of not really what I thought he was when we met. So we got divorced, and wound up getting with my high school sweetheart from upstate New York for about 9 years. After that, he moved down here, and we grew apart eventually, but he got out of there, thank goodness, and away from the alcohol and the drugs and all the garbage that was going on. So I'm really happy that he did, because he's a good person, and I have nothing against him. We just kind of grew in different ways. And very smart, intelligent guy, very industrious, very creative, very mechanical, and super smart. And I have a lot of appreciation for the things that he brought into my life, the skills and stuff that he showed me, and I have no disrespect for him at all. But anyway, I wound up, we left the Charleston area and went up to the Greenville area. When I separated from him, I came back down to Charleston, went back to work cleaning houses, and had my own house for a while. I inherited from my grandmother, and just kind of took care of her, and took care of my business. And then I got with my current man, who's riding the tractor way on the other side of the property, who won't come over here and let me show it to you. But I knew him for about 20 years, actually. I owned a booth at a flea market in the area where I sold handmade items. I did creative anachronism. I did medieval reenactment for a while, and I was making medieval, like, gear, wrist braces, bands, pouches, scabbards, things for swords, and knives, belt knives, and sometimes other leather items. I also did glass etching. I did goblets for people for their medieval stuff. I did handmade jewelry. I sold crystals and stones. Then I got into selling like tarot cards and books and stuff on New Age topics and medieval topics and some musical instruments and hand painted drums and some gothic stuff and antiques and unusual items. And then I got into selling guitars, amps, and strings and stuff for musical instruments. My dad is a guitar teacher, and the guy that owns the shop that he taught at would flush out his merchandise every 6 months or so and offer it to me to sell at the market at a really reduced rate. Basically what he paid for it wholesale, just to get it out of there. And so I would have basses and guitars and amps and stuff out the market in my booth. This was many years stretch. I did that for like 18 years straight. And that was where I met most of my friends, and that's where I met my man that I'm with now. And I met him, probably back in 92 or probably 94 the first time. He used to be one of my customers that would come and hang out and sit with me and chit-chat about stuff. And then we met back up many years later in like 2009, somewhere in there. And started seeing each other and got together, and I wound up moving out here. I sold my house in my grandmother's house that I was living in. It was a mobile home in a park, and I was tired of living in this park. And I sold my place, and I was going to get myself a motorhome and hit the road. And the guy I was trying to buy the motorhome off, we couldn't find the title, and he kept giving me BS lines of runaround. Finally, I went moving out here, and I've been out here ever since, about almost 11 years now. And I just bought a motorhome. I'm not really going anywhere in it, but I wanted to have a space where I could do my work and stuff. And I figured I needed my own little space. And last year, I don't know if you can see it right over there, but last year I bought a fifth wheel, and I paid dirt cheap for it. And it's worth some money, but it's got some interior bones problems. And so I need to invest some money in materials for it, and materials right now are outrageous. Like 2x4s are ridiculous. What used to be $3 is like $10 or $12. So I kind of am holding off on doing repairs on that. When I got an offer, somebody offered me this 37-foot motorhome. I said, yeah, I think I'm going to do that, because it's all in one piece. Everything works on it. It's got 2 AC units on the roof that work. It's got a generator. It's got working plumbing and lighting and all that, which the fifth wheel over there does not have at the moment. The fifth wheel needs a lot of interior work, but I paid $450 for the fifth wheel. And at the time I was like, yay, I got something to work in, and I got something to go. I wanted to set up myself a little yoga studio area and workshop space for making jewelry and painting and making music, and a little spot where I could do a live show on my channel, and have like a little studio for that. And that's what I'm going to do with that thing when I get it done. It's going to be a studio. The other place is more like an actual motorhome is actually residence worthy, and if I have guests down here or whatever, it's actually a livable structure where they could actually stay the night and not feel like they were in a junky crap hole. Which is that physical right now. The bedroom in it's fine, and the bathroom's fine, but the kitchen and the living room area and the tip out all need serious, like from the ceiling to the floor, repair. So, and he's stopping the thing again. Is he coming down here at all? I was going to show you all this thing. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just sitting here babbling on live video for no apparent reason, and a large bird just flew overhead. I saw its shadow. It might not have been that large. It might have been a small bird kind of flying low. But I saw its shadow. I see you, bird. Don't poop on my head. Nope, I think he might be coming down here with this thing. What do you think? I think it's getting louder. He must be running out of gas. Now, the guy who bought it off us said that it had like a little bit of an issue with the fuel system or something. That it was clogging up. And he hasn't done any of the maintenance on it yet. He just got the thing like 2 hours ago or less. So he's probably going to have to do a little bit of like clean out the fuel system, change the oil, make sure the hydraulic fluid in the PTO is up to par and all that. But he's been running it for the last 45 minutes and it's pretty decent. I mean, I can hear it running. I've been hearing it all over the yard. So here, I think it's coming this way. It's a Cub Cadet, and it's not a little, you know, like lawnmower, riding mower. It's actually a fairly decent sized lawn tractor. And he stopped up there. Of course. I'm waiting. Alright, slow as slow can be. I got the song John Deere Green stuck in my head today. It's been driving me nuts. They call that an earworm. I don't know why they call it an earworm, but that's the term they've been using for that. I've always just said I got a tune playing in my head. But John Deere Green's been playing in my head all day today for some reason. I can still hear the thing. He's up at Mama's house. His mama passed away a couple years ago. And his sister's staying in his mama's house at the moment. They might be up there talking to somebody or something and just have it parked. I don't know. Or he might be mowing right there in front of the house. Because it does sound like he's moving around some. I don't know. A little while ago, he had to take that car ramp, run it up on it, and get a rubber floor mat that was on the ground, kind of buried in the grass that he didn't see. I was waiting on live video to see the tractor, but your leg's still hurting. Oh, you need a ramp again? What'd you run over this time? Oh, jeez. Did it get messed up? He ran over the water hose. He should have lifted the deck up. Oh, well. SH happens. My pants just stuck to the cart when I stood up. If I get too close to it, it'll be too loud on the video. That's why I'm kind of hanging back over here. That's the well. Oh well. You want me to take the ramp? You want me to take the ramp? I guess not. I was asking if you wanted me to take the ramp back down there.
No, I don't want to go get the cigarette.
Okay. Spooky! Might remember Spooky from the turkey video. Not a bad yard sale find. Yeah. Did it take down some brush?
Yeah. They cut all that rutted ass driveway.
Really?
No questions asked.
Wow. That's what we were waiting for, just to see the tractor. Not a bad $400 yard tractor. Not bad at all. Let me put the ramp on top of my seat. I'm gonna take it back off there. Let me put the ramp on. I was sitting. Lay it up on the tire. Okay. It's nice out here today, but I think I'm about to get off of here. I hope I didn't bore you all with life story garbage while I was waiting on the tractor. But those were the yard sale finds for today. Oh, and also, he found me some Refresh eye drops, which is the brand I use. 4 boxes of the little individual ones. I'm going to have to take them and put them in my regular eyedropper bottle, I guess, because I don't want to carry around a bunch of individual ones with me everywhere I go. But you must be having allergies to the grass, too. Started back up. That's a good sign. Anyway, I think I'm about done. I'm going to go on in the house, get myself something to drink. Maybe something to eat. It's kind of mid-afternoon now, I believe. My coffee from this morning still sitting on the table. I haven't finished it yet. But maybe I'll do a burn barrel video tonight once we get this burn barrel set up, I'll set the fire and stand out there and feed the burn barrel all the cardboard boxes and stuff that are around that need to be gotten rid of. And chit chat while I do so. Hey, by the way, down in Florida, they're having this Trump rally on the river. That was really cool today. I thought that was awesome. I'd like to partake of that, but we haven't really done anything like that around here. Anyway, alright guys. You have a good one. And somewhere or another there is a stop button to this video. I think it's right there.